right, guys. Welcome to the Deer Shop Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company.
He went and watched a movie that has a $200 million production budget, and then the next thing he watched was our video on YouTube that has a $0 production budget.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years.
Your track job was the first fun track job. That kind of like, I think part of my life was influenced by that night.
Then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
That's what Caleb did. 5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
Joey takes
The shop is closing up.
Make sure he takes all his right antlers. You can't leave anything.
All right, guys. Deer Shop Podcast, episode 129. Coyotes, drones, possible world record typicals. Myself, Isaac, Ethan, Tyler Gullet in the basement studio today, Friday, February 13th. How's everybody doing?
Good. Not bad. It's cold outside again.
We're in the basement because it's 6 degrees again.
Yeah, it warmed up for a few days. Everything thawed for the most part, and then it got freezing.
Not our driveway. It is a skating rink.
Mine did thaw. My driveway thawed. Yeah, your guys' driveway
got blacktop.
It's nice now, though, because all the snow that melted, you could walk on top of it instead of fall through it when you're outside.
I'm going to find that out today because I'm going to go do some shed hunting after we're done here, I think. It's going to be a little tough, but you went the other day.
Yeah.
You found some.
Yeah, it was before that melt happened, but yeah, a few small ones.
We went to one of our certain farms twice in the last week, way before all the snow melted, because we wanted to kind of find the beds and follow the trails kind of thing. And I was able to find one good one. I was going to ask you guys to bring that, but
it's sitting on the bar.
Yeah,
still.
we'll show it sometime. But I did find a good one, and only the pedicle was sticking out. Like, it was upside down, and like all I could see was the pedicle. There was no time.
Looked like a tree branch.
Yeah, it was kind of tough. I'm sure we walked by a whole bunch during those 2 days, but
So his other side's got to be close.
his other side should be pretty close. He held one side. How long did you say he held the other side on for? You looked at the trail camera pictures.
He left with both sheds, came back with one missing in a span of 4 hours.
And then the one I found was
a couple days later.
Was not that one.
Was not that one.
So
no.
there's a 4-hour window where he was not on camera, where the shed that I did not find is somewhere close by. But the snow was like knee deep in a lot of places, so it kind of made it hard.
Yeah, the shed hunter's dream is the antlers sitting next to each other, but when they shed days apart, that's when it becomes an issue. Like the bucks, well, at least the one buck you're going to go after today, he shed days apart.
Yeah.
At least days. Yeah.
That's probably the one, well, the one you're talking about would be the second one I want to find on our property. I want to find the G3 buck. Mm-hmm. I want to find his old. I've never found a set.
But he disappears.
Yeah, he's 5 or 6 years old. He hangs out till like mid-January and then pieces out. So like we've never found any of his sheds, but I would love to try and find those sheds. I just don't know if that's going to be possible or not. But
the one year we found sheds that were shed days apart in the same area because they were on camera. The wolf.
Yeah, we got lucky that year. Sometimes you get lucky. Nick's found a bunch that way already this year. Mm-hmm. He's already got 4 or 5 that he's found.
Well, he also has a feed trough at his location.
He says he's done. He said the feed is done for the year.
I'd love to know the actual number of pounds of corn put out.
700 every 4 days.
He didn't start until the beginning of January, after gun season, right? Muzzleloader.
Yeah.
So second gun maybe.
He put some sprinklings out, but no big piles.
Yeah, there was nothing out during gun season on purpose because too many people congregated in an area. Mm-hmm. But it was only that last month and a half or so. But yeah, I don't even know how much.
1,500 pounds a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Anyways.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that later. How's the job going? Anything cool to talk about job-wise? We got 4 firemen sitting here today.
No.
A lot of people that live in Canton.
I don't really have any good stories either right now.
It's cold.
What about you, Tyler? You got any cool stories from
Just a bunch of nursing home calls.
Grandma 6 times.
Chatham has gone, our jerkwater department's gone on 7 structure fires already this year, I think.
Sure.
6 or 7 structure fires in Chatham.
Those are real?
They're real.
They happen.
The one the other day, was it nothing?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
So does it count?
No.
No? There was not a structure on fire?
There was not. There's a candle that fell over.
So it's 6. It's 6 fires, not 6.
My suburb is turning into his suburb. We're getting ready to break ground on another nursing home.
I hope you end up with 4 of them by next year.
I mean, we have more than 4. We just don't go to.
No, 4 more.
Oh.
You're getting 4 more?
Oh, no, I hope you do.
Oh, we're just getting 1 more.
We have like 7.
I think
I don't even know.
We only have like 3 or 4.
Like for big skill, like the big compounds, I think this will be the number 4 that we have in town.
We have 1 compound with 5 in it.
Who owns that? So there's a dude making some money somewhere. Like, dang.
Yeah.
But the new one's going to be one of those mega compounds,
Like a
skilled,
Rose
assisted.
senior living. Those are going
There's
everywhere.
like 200 apartments or some shit. It's going to be nice.
We have the one of those on West Ave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same as that.
We actually go to that one a lot because pipes are bursting like crazy. Like, we
that
go there a lot, but not for EMS calls.
built a long time ago.
Shout out to the Ashland Fire Boys.
Yeah, always.
Short business this week. I don't really have much because
Wait.
I'd rather just.
Ashland Fireboy. So one of them sold his bow. Did he buy another real bow, or has he got a crossbow?
He raffled it off, right?
Yeah, he
I don't
raffled
know.
his bow off. I don't know. What'd you do, Dakota? Did you get a real bow or did you get a crossbow? Tyler hunts with a crossbow.
I do not.
Just a couple quick comments. Joe Eikenberry, Muskingum County, Ohio, Dillon Wildlife Area, hunter fisherman here. I enjoyed
hot burning.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy. Yeah. Whoops. I enjoy the conversation in your podcast, gentlemen. Everyone has an opinion, and it's nice to hear the discussions. Thank you for continuing to post.
Oh, that's not the angry guy that said he shoots a 150 on public every year?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Jonah N8L. I'm in Louisiana, and I agree with Skip and feel the same way 100%. How did you feel about all this Skip style podcasts and the Make Ohio Great Again stuff? Like, I'd like to kind of hear your thoughts on that, Tyler.
I don't know. I feel like over the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, like that topic has become huge on a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I'm like, you get people saying like Ohio sucks now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pockets get good, pockets get bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think corn is ruining Ohio deer hunting. Corn is not destroying the forest. Like he'll talk about, I have 500 reasons why baiting is horrible. No, you don't. You might.
You have one.
You have one.
Well, 2. Jealousy, and maybe the turkeys.
And, turkeys. And is it spreading disease? Like maybe, but not any more than the water hole people put in their food plot.
Whoa,
So-
dude.
And
Shots fired.
I mean, how many people are really putting EH defense
Not
in their water? No.
Nobody is.
You know what I mean?
We are because we have the product, but
Yeah.
no one else is doing it around us.
And
we did it one time.
and
We did for one season.
Yeah.
it's like Ohio's a top 5 Boone and Crockett state.
Number 2, I think, right?
Yeah, of all
I
time.
mean, everyone knows that.
And
it's not a secret.
I'm like, I would be curious if you looked at the amount of 150 plus deer that were killed in like 99 and 2000 versus like 2024 and 2025. You couldn't get it because more people now are doing, what's Toby do?
Buckmaster.
Buckmasters. But because, obviously it kind of seems like they get a few more inches in Buckmasters.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
I know.
We're gonna
I know.
get in trouble. Someone's going to get real mad.
We're going to get sued or something.
But you look at
You're not wrong.
You look at I think this year was like a top 5 all time for deer killed in the state of Ohio. So I don't think Ohio is falling apart like people say it is. You know what I mean? It should not be easy to kill a 150 or a 160 every year. And you get guys who complain because they don't have them every year on the same property. And it's like, it's not supposed to be easy, So I don't know. I just think a lot of people like to complain, and I just kind of go out and hunt. And
I would like to know. So, like, you bring up a good point, like the 90s, early 2000s, the record book entries. For one, we don't really know what the true record book entries are because only so many people submit them. There's different scoring books. Like, there's people that had, for example, Pavlovich's buck is in both, I believe. He's in the Buckeye Big Buck Club and the Buckmaster.
Yeah.
How many deer
So they count
cross
that
posts?
twice, or they count?
Right. Like, some guys are only in one, some guys are in both. I don't know if you're even allowed to technically be in both, but who's going to stop you,
Yeah, you're gonna go to
So I don't know the legalities there, but the way we've kind of projected it from our end, we got to that game kind of late, like the whole Make Ohio Great Again thing. We're kind of on the tail end of it, so we talked about it for a few episodes, and we're gonna move on eventually. But I just remember when I was a kid, before I cared about all this stuff, and before we were running cameras, and just when I was a little kid, I would see, and of course they were big to me at the time, I guess. We would see big bucks. we'd be out in the yard playing at mom and dad's in the evening in October, throwing a football around, and a big old buck would come running through the lane up across the field, chasing some does. And like when we first started running trail cameras, like the film ones and all the, back in the day, those old huge digitals with like lantern batteries, we'd get 150s, 160s, 170s on a random tree that I just put the camera on as a kid. Mm-hmm. And now
in 13 pictures, you only have 13 pictures to get it.
And you fast forward to now, we get them and we're all calculate with how we do the stuff, but it just seems like there's less older bucks.
And we could be in a pocket that.
And he's reduced. Yeah, that was a very.
We kind of hunt in such a small little area mostly. You hunt more all over.
I also think people have this I guess it's not a misconception because nobody really knows. People think like you take away baiting, and if you take away baiting, fine. I hunted for that first buck this year. I sat over 50 times for just that deer, and probably 30 of them were just over a decoy.
Yeah.
Or on the edge of his bedding. I couldn't get in to where he was. It would have been like a 900-yard walk to bring bait back there, and I would have had no problem doing it. But when I got the new spot to hunt him, I had put bait out to try to see if he was in the area, and once he was, I literally brought a decoy out there, covered it under the branches, and every day I'd go out there to hunt for him, and I'd put that decoy up. But you take away baiting and you take away trail cameras and people think you're going to have all these big deer. You're not. What's going to happen is your weekend warrior or the guy that only gets out a couple times a month.
Another trigger word on people.
Yeah. And, what is the percentage of guys who are as serious about it as we are?
Small.
Where it consumes every portion of your day.
2 to 3%.
So you get a guy who likes to hunt and he just gets out there when he can and he runs trail cameras and he runs bait. And he's getting a picture of a 140 or 150 on his camera. He will hold off shooting those 120s, the 110s, the 2 or the 3-year-olds just because he thinks he has a chance at that 140 or that 150. You take those trail cameras from him, you take that bait from him, and you make it harder. That first 110 or 120 that walks in and he has no history with that deer, it's getting smoked every single time.
You think so?
I think this stuff helps the age structure.
So, counter argument, what about all our neighbors that want to kill big bucks but shoot the first 115 that walk in every year?
And they have photos of 140s.
They have us living next door to them, like hunting next door to them, sharing, not everything, but like they know what's going on. If I'm out there hunting 25 days in a row. Yeah. But they,
and
they can't. They have no self-control. That's a nice buck at that corn pile. Pop.
Yeah, and it's obviously not like it would not be that way for everybody.
Right.
But I do think there is a large portion of guys who will hold off on deer because they got one picture of that 150, or
I never want to ban trail cameras. To be fair, let's not do that.
And it's that's all wild. These guys that say ban trail cameras and they're running trail cameras. Well, stop running them.
Yeah.
If you feel that strong about them. And you want things to go back to the way they were in the old days, stop running them.
Maybe next year, I don't know. We'll see how we play.
You're going to run trail cameras.
Well, no, I'm going to. I am never going to stop running trail cameras. I'll say that officially. We have had years where we didn't bait. We have had years where we didn't do any corn at all. We weren't maybe necessarily super successful. There were some years when, like the year that I killed Traveler up there, we didn't bait at all that year, but I killed mine November 1st. You killed yours October 17th or something. Mm-hmm. So like we didn't really. Ethan was in Japan or whatever. So like we got done pretty quick.
Yeah.
No reason to bait, and like the hunting was good, but we find ourselves, and this is the people are gonna be like, well, dude, you guys, you just put a video out where you have yourself putting a bag of corn out in the first 10 seconds of the video. Mm-hmm. You get a guy hunting like Ethan or someone late into the season in January, if you want to be successful in Ohio with the neighbors and the way the farms are and dealing with the Amish and everything, you have to bait or you're just not going to see deer. You might have some natural areas that the deer are feeding good, but are you going to be able to make them feed there in daylight? Like what's the access like? And killing does, it's a lot more fun just to have the doe show up and shoot them over corn and be done,
This causes so much division in hunting. It has made like deer hunting this weird clicky, you bait, I don't bait. And at the end of the day, it's like what really bothers me is you'll get a guy that is hunting in a box blind over a food plot with a rub, a horizontal rub tree they put in and a mock scrape and a water hole. They have all this stuff. They completely change the landscape of what those woods are. And they will talk shit to a guy who's baiting, saying that that's not the deer's natural movement. It's like, I'm not saying the same thing. That food plot gives way more sustenance to the woods and is way better. But at the end of the day, you both put that there, and that was not natural movement. You wouldn't have killed that deer right there if you did not completely change the landscape of that. You are both hunting over a food source.
Right.
And I've had food plots before, and I've had corn piles, and I would 100 times take that food plot. Baiting all year is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's a mess.
Sucks.
This time of year, I hate the smell and the mud and the shit and just the whole.
And you'll get a lot of hate if you try to like compare the two. And I'm not saying that the corn pile is better for the environment than a food plot, because it's not.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're both relying on them to come to that food source. If you have a 1 acre micro plot, you should be able to kill a deer on 60% of that plot at all times. Mm-hmm. You put yourself on a 50-yard line, you shoot 35 yards in each direction, you know what I mean? If you're designing your food plot around your kill tree or your blind location.
The advantage of the food plot is it gives you the year-round. It helps all the other wildlife, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just the people that do the targeted baiting come in, drop the bait for 3 weeks, kill their buck,
100%.
leave.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it, and that's why we do it on the farm that we have.
You're going to have that.
But a lot of places you hunt, like I'm sure most places you hunt, you won't be allowed to plant a food plot.
Oh yeah, I mean, I ran cameras on 15 different properties this year, and I had one landowner that would let me put a food plot in.
Yeah. You brought up a good point, the division. I think the problem we see is, since we're the 2-3% that just care so much about this shit, that affects us more than the average guy.
Yeah.
Like the average guy doesn't even care about that conversation, or he might make a joke, but then he doesn't even think about it again. Whereas when you get to the level where we're at, and even farther in it, like a guy like Skip, or even the guys at like Mike Rex at the ODNR, like guys that actually start making
their livelihood is
they
based
start
on it.
making decisions for the states and stuff. Obviously, it becomes a bigger beast for them and us than it does just that weekend warrior guy. He don't care. Whatever's legal, he's going to do. He might bend the rules a little bit because 75% of hunters are dirtbags, but like he doesn't think about it the way we do. So the division doesn't even come up for him.
And I know just for that little bit I said, I'm going to get people that are like, screw this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it is. I'm like, dude, I hate the division between people. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like, dude, I don't even want to look at social media. I just want to go hunt. You know what I mean?
Well, you've hunted out of state. You've hunted Indiana, Kentucky, stuff like that. Like when we go hunt in West Virginia, it's so beautiful because all it is trees and rocks and grass. There's a couple hay fields, like pastures every once in a while, but there's no food plots. There's barely any corn. A couple guys try to bait, but it doesn't work very good down there just because of bears and elevation and all the stuff. But those big woods are just so much more fun to hunt because everything's even.
Yeah.
Everything's level playing field, and you just pick spots that are natural. Everyone has their little area that they go, and they're hunting a funnel, or they're hunting a hub, or they're hunting a ridge, and like you kill deer and you have fun, and it's not like it is up.
Well, and a lot of it's not. You can't just drive down the road and see all these deer.
Correct.
It's a mystery, the deer that are up in those mountains.
And we run trail cameras there year round, and there's still deer. The deer that I shot this year, that one that's on the wall over there, I don't know if we may have had like one trail camera picture of that deer.
Is that the Euromount?
Yeah. That's
that was Kentucky?
That was West Virginia.
Or West Virginia. Okay.
My Kentucky and Ohio buck are still the taxidermy.
You shot 3 this year.
I shot 3. 3 opening day bucks.
You little killer.
I just got lucky. I had a couple years of I had a couple bad years in a row, and then
I just think
I got lucky.
The mysterious deer down there is what's cool. Do you think?
And there are good bucks running around down there.
Yeah. So speaking of that, this could be another conversation. Do you think there is very many mystery deer around here, like people haven't seen?
No, I call a lot of BS on. Like I think when someone shares a picture or something, and they're like, "Oh, I had this deer on my property," and it's
someone's seen him from the road.
Big
Someone has a
monster.
picture of him.
It's like,
is there any mysterious monsters out there?
No, but I do think that there are deer that might live 3-4 miles away that we don't really know that much about. Might come.
Somebody else does.
Yeah, they might come through every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And if you would say you would kill that deer, you'd be like, dude, holy shit, mystery deer.
Yeah, no
Post
idea
it on
about
the internet. You'll have 10 people be like, oh, dude, I had that deer every day, and I'm hunting 2 miles away.
5 miles away or something.
That buck I was going after at the beginning of the year, the Brian who owns the property next door, I mean, I had that buck. I sent you guys that first video of him, and it had to be like July.
Yeah.
And Brian didn't have him on camera until like the first week of September.
Yeah.
And where my camera was and his camera was 800 yards apart.
Yeah.
And he was like, and he knew about the deer because we both had like 3 years of history with it.
I was gonna bring all this up later, but we can.
But I'm just saying, like that close, and he didn't have them for months. You know what I mean? So I thought like I'm the only one that knows about this deer. You know what I mean? And I ended up finding out there's like a dude in I think Montana that knew about him.
That comes out here to hunt.
No, what's his name? The other drone guy.
Chris.
Chris had told me. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I think it was Chris that told me. Some dude in Montana told me they know about
Yeah, I
that
think
deer."
I heard that story. Sounds familiar too. Can't remember.
Well, yeah, I mean, and now you bring drones.
Are you sure it's not Michigan?
Easy.
We're gonna leave that one.
We've been working on that. We gotta be easy with that one.
But I guess you could bring drones into this conversation. That somebody doing a survey or doing whatever they do with drones could possibly have seen these deer as well.
Look at what's going on right now in our area. I got a phone call the other day from the ODNR because they're mapping wells, and this is weird. They need permission to fly their drone over your property. The ODNR does to do these surveys for wells. So there's 2 acres here, and he called me, asked if he could fly over my 2 acres. I'm like, dude, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Which is weird because they've been parking on the road. I seen them flying. They were flying a big Mavic, one of the older ones.
But those guys. Big. They're doing their job, right? But if they were hunters,
I'm sure they're
just out there, and I'm sure they're picking up our sheds.
The 2 dudes, they look like 2 30-year-old dudes.
Yeah, they're like they're marking all the big bucks that they find in their job pursuit.
They parked at the farm the other day. I talked to them for a little bit.
Do they look like hunters?
Yeah, they look like
normal dudes.
They look like shed hunters.
I asked the guy on the phone. I'm like, I got because we got some cell cam pictures of a guy on the neighboring farm, or a guy walking through with flags. And I got some pictures of your dudes walking through, putting flags out today. He's like, that wasn't us. My guy should be in Licking County. He said something like that. And I'm like,
somebody else.
It was a dude putting flags out like factually like an hour ago.
So that couldn't be the ODNR. It could be an oil well guy. It could be a dude cutting
self-contractors. You know.
Yeah, lumber.
Yeah, the ODNR self-contracts it out, so they find the wells and they just give it to different companies.
Yeah, and like, I guess
our tax dollars at work.
The point being, it's very hard to keep a secret.
Yeah,
keeping a deer secret in today's society would be just impossible. But
you can see most fields from the road in the summertime.
Yeah,
around here, where we go in West Virginia, certainly a world record could hide down there, and nobody would know.
I believe that because there's so many guys down in West Virginia where we're hunting. There's so many guys that ride their 4-wheeler to their stand, hunt for a week or two during gun, maybe bring out the crossbow or bow during rut, but ride their 4-wheeler back down. Like, and if that deer is smart and old enough, and the way the terrain is up there, like you stand on those rocks up there, I could watch a dude on his 4-wheeler 600, 700 yards away, just and like the deer are going to be able to notice that too. There's no way they're going to get killed by that guy, you know.
My deer don't stay a secret. I get too excited. I send pictures to everyone.
We have a guy in our group, Freeman, that we've had to yell at a bunch because he's a good guy and he's excited about it, but he shares, and we're like, dude, like,
it's a 200-inch deer. Shut the fuck up.
200-inch deer. Like, you can show us, but don't be showing every single guy you can install a furnace for.
Dead now. Don't matter.
It is dead now. No resolution on that yet. Rich Crawl. Glad I live in Indiana. Glad I live in Kentucky. Northern Kentucky is 98% private owned, small 40 to 100 acre plots, heavily forested, small food plots. Too many does because too many guys want to kill a buck. We have a 4-bag limit, but only 1 buck. I like the way Kentucky does things. We all hunt down there.
Yeah.
You do a pretty good job. Danny Hall. Ohio is great. Ohio is one of the best states to hunt. We are number 2 in Boone and Crockett entries, and Wisconsin is number 1. People need to stop trying to change it. He's the one that kills the bucks on.
That's the guy.
We had a long conversation, me and him. There was another guy I had a really, really long conversation with.
That dude said Kentucky is mostly privately owned.
Northern Kentucky, he said, where he lives.
We hunt in Northern Kentucky.
We're like central. Well, Kentucky's a long state. He could be,
anywhere.
Wherever he's living, he said.
He could be from North Carolina to freaking Kansas. However long Kentucky goes.
Some more people asking about the GoPros that we're going to sell. You want to buy some more GoPros?
No.
I'll make you a killer deal.
Hate them. We're not very good salesmen.
Jeremy, we are bad salesmen.
1 case of Busch Light, please.
Broadhead Jeremy Guy said, great podcast. I like the transparency. People make mistakes. If my group shoots a button buck, we are done hunting for the season. Luke would have a hard time killing any deer because he actually shoots a button buck every single year. All right, Tyler Gullet. You still doing 4G outdoors?
Dude, I'm always like, I'm going to film, and then I bring the camera out there and don't even think about touching it.
If you can find 4G on outdoors on YouTube, give it a subscribe. When I type it in, there's like 20.
Yeah.
You need to come up with a more original name.
I know. The coyote stuff, I'm going to put some more coyote stuff on there, but I don't think I'll ever put deer hunting stuff on there.
There is a lot. You have a lot of sweet coyote hunting stuff that would get.
Yeah.
Views.
Like
Especially
last night I'm like, why did I not bring the GoPro out here?
I have a buddy that lives in Arizona now from the Navy that coyote hunts out there all the time.
That's the mecca
for
coyote hunting.
Drives out to the desert and just shoots them.
Dude, every time we hunt in Montana, like you lay there at night in your tent and you just hear endless coyotes in Nebraska and stuff. And we always see. I actually almost shot a coyote in Montana last time we were there.
Really?
Just didn't come quite close enough.
This is Tyler's third time on the podcast, and third. We talked about your booner.
Yeah, it is the third.
And then we talked about coyote.
Oh, yeah.
Second time.
It is.
And this is your third time on the podcast. And you made the show last week. You were in the episode for like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, with the recovery.
Was that the first? I think that might be the first time you've been on the show, the YouTube show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, our failed recovery. That deer came back like an hour after.
It wasn't a failed recovery because
insane.
the deer was alive.
Yeah. So I was talking with, who was I talking to about this? Maybe, was it you? Maybe it wasn't you. I've been on 7.
It was on a podcast, I think.
We were talking about it in the group chat and our
I've been on
texts.
7 drone recoveries in my life. I've been on 8. I've been on 8 drone recoveries. 7 for like our guys or people in our group, and then 1 that I went with Chris because he was with us and he was going down the road to help a guy, so I went with him. And that made an episode a couple years ago. But on the 7 I've gone on, the deer's never been dead. Like there's never been a dead deer to find whenever I've been involved in a drone.
It probably because we only call drones when it's questionable at best.
Bird's Nest with Bob. Your buck was alive still. Nick's this year. All Freeman's were always still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think who else we went on one with. But they've all just, unfortunately, they've just all been alive still. So
his was a rough one, too, because that was like in the peak of that real cold that we had.
Oh.
And all the trees were frozen.
It was,
and when all the trees are frozen like that, they show up almost like glass, like a heat signature. And it was so cold. I think it was like -15 with the wind chill. My drone was glitching, and I couldn't get my temperature range the right way.
Yeah.
And he had a kind of a direction he thought it went, and I was like, I want to scan as much of this as I can. And by the time he wanted me to scan where his original bedding area was,
right,
the drone was just kind of going haywire, and I was completely out of battery and kind of had to shut it down.
That's just the operational limits of that.
I want to say it's like -4 degrees is the max that you're, like the coldest you're supposed to fly that at.
I'm pretty sure the wind, I think that was the coldest night we had during
It was
that
like
stream.
-22. When
And
we
I
were
think
out
the
there.
wind chill was like -20 plus.
It was
-22-ish.
It was.
We were standing
freezing
outside while you guys were in that heated gator. I'm like, holy.
Well, I'm like, I can't fly this. Like I couldn't feel my fingers. You know what I mean?
I brought a backpack of beers and opened one beer when I got there, and by the time I walked back to where the gator was, the beer itself was frozen, and the beers in my backpack all froze, and they're still frozen in that backpack, I believe. Like
Yeah, I
they
think-
froze that fast.
What beer freezes at probably like 20 degrees, maybe 10 degrees.
I don't know, but that beer was frozen.
Yeah, it was bad.
So all the trees and stuff, when they freeze, they don't get below 32 degrees, right? Or can they actually go below?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
one of the problems was the beds. Like if
Oh,
you were to get
dude.
up out of its bed and leave, but it'd be like glowing red on the screen.
For a
So you
couple
leave them in
hours.
there, and there's just a brown hole. Like
well, like, and typically those beds, even if there's just snow on the ground, those beds, that heat will kind of dissipate. The problem is those deer were laying in there, melting that ice, and as soon as they get up, it glasses over, and every single bed legitimately looked like a deer.
yeah.
And yeah, it was. I mean, those I tracked deer like the first week of deer season with all that foliage on the trees. I would rather fly for deer with foliage on the trees than it being that cold.
I mean, a 30-degree November 5th night with all the leaves off would be like ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just crazy that, and I don't know, could we have flown over that deer that night? Probably.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He could have been over to the north a little bit more where we didn't look. Now that we were thinking if he was dead, he wasn't going to go far. But now that knowing how alive he was, he could have easily been. He could have been watching us from one of those ridges.
Oh, I mean, he could have.
He was there an hour after we left. It's just insane.
I could have 100% flown over him.
Yeah. Let's talk about last night.
Killing coyotes.
Yeah, you got a whole truck full of coyotes out there in the driveway.
Yeah.
How many is there? 6, 7?
6.
6.
No, last night was good. We had so much snow last week that I don't think the coyotes really wanted to move through it. They were hunting a lot during the daytime, and
they're probably running creeks and shit.
Yeah, a lot of pictures on creeks, and by the time the night rolled around, when there's that much snow, you're not going to pull them from a half mile away. But last night, dude, when we got in my truck to leave, I was like, this feels good.
So was the snow glazed over?
Oh, yeah. Top? There was a couple spots, like he was saying, you could walk on top of the snow. And, we ended up killing 6 of them. We killed a triple on one property, a double on another property, a single on another one, and then called in another single. But it was in the neighbor's field, and I've never talked to them before. And I'm like, I don't want to shoot this in their field and have to walk, over there and get it. But, dude, they were howling everywhere, super aggressive. Those are the best nights.
Yeah. I noticed last night, I had my phone at work somewhere on the table. I got to it right at dark. The deer cameras last night, the daylight deer movement, just in the fields and everything was wild too. There was just deer everywhere last night. So whatever it was about the conditions outside last night, the animals were just.
Whatever, it got warm and then cold again. Started moving.
It did get cold. I mean, we were going squad calls last night. It was freaking cold.
Oh yeah.
So I know we've talked about this before when you were on the podcast, how the coyote hunting goes, but just do it for the audience, just a quick setup of how you guys do your setups, I guess. Run through that process.
So the biggest thing with the coyote hunting is having properties. I think between me, JR, and Ben are my 2 buddies I primarily hunt with. Between the 3 of us, we probably have 150 different properties to hunt. And with coyote hunting,
what's your Onyx look like?
Oh, dude, it's just like a big blob. It's all playing the wind, and I have certain spots where you wouldn't think there's any coyotes there, and you hunt them and you call them in every other time you're there. And then the great spots you think would be amazing, they suck.
Yeah.
But, just setting up, set up the right way, play the wind the right way. We're all running thermals. I shoot a 243. Everybody shoots 243s except for my buddy JR. He's still shooting a 22-250. But this time of year, I'm almost getting no action on prey distress. Last night it was all howls. Tony Tebby's Hammer Time 2. If there's any coyote hunters that listen.
Sounds like a porn.
Oh, yeah. Dude, they all sound like that, attention whore. I mean, that's how, that's how they're all named.
That's their marketing.
Yeah. But Hammer Time 2, we killed 5 out of those 6 dogs on Hammer Time 2. And, dude, they were aggressive.
Really? When is their breeding season?
They say peak breeding season is Valentine's Day. That's kind of what they figure.
Okay, so
you're right.
And, I mean, all those females, all those females were rubbed up. You know what I mean? The hair slipping everywhere. The one male had a giant chunk taken out of its back. It looked like he got bit. You know what I mean? Like a baseball-sized chunk right in his spine.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
obviously the males will fight.
Oh yeah,
get aggressive.
Yeah.
So there's not that many. I can't imagine there's that many people hunting coyotes seriously like you are around here.
Thermals have gotten so affordable.
I've seen all the posts lately about dudes just begging for farms.
Yeah, and thermals are getting cheaper every year, and I think that it's nothing to go out 5 nights in a row and not see a dog or not call one in.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Is this going to be like a limited resource? More people get into it, more get killed, and then all of a sudden there's just not that many?
No.
Which is probably
it pops up every time you kill one, you get a new one come in.
Yeah, and
they breed pretty quick. They stay pretty...
They breed once a year. Mm-hmm. So the females go into estrus once a year. So that whole you shoot a coyote and they howl, and when they howl, it's a roll call, and the females know to produce. All of that is total BS. They breed once a year. They have a litter size, X amount. None of it has to do with how many coyotes are on the landscape. And they're not like a pig, like, a wild hog will breed.
Yeah, every 2 months.
They have like a 9-week gestation period. I don't know what it is, but I know it's
fat.
short.
And
yeah.
and it'll go all year round.
But I think a lot of guys will get into coyote hunting and they'll go out 5 or 6 times. They won't see anything. And they're like, I just spent $3,000 on a thermal. I'm selling this.
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, you're in that 2 to 3%, of like serious about it. And the more you stick with it, I think a lot of guys see the videos and they think it's going to be sweet like that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Those guys out west, though, it's nothing for them. Like, there's a guy, Jeremy Nichols. He lives somewhere out west. I don't know. This guy will kill like 20 of them a night on his own.
Yeah. Well, like you said.
Well, because I don't know if you've been out there, but he can just go on a road.
Yeah.
On 60,000 acres, drive for a mile, call. Drive for a mile, call.
Yeah.
And just like that. He can do that all night. You're driving through suburbs and towns and driving 20 minutes to the next place and doing all this shit all night.
We hunted that Jurassic Classic contest last weekend in January, and it's usually like a 36-hour hunt. You start Friday night at 7, and weigh-ins are Sunday morning. But that horrible storm was coming in, so they changed it to a 12-hour hunt. So it started 7 Friday, and weigh-ins were at like noon the next day. And the winning team killed like 11, and second place killed 9. But those guys that took second, they're 2 brothers, I want to say, and they are killers. He shot one in Kansas a couple weeks ago at 817 yards.
Tell us about that guy.
And he told me he's killed over 1,000 coyotes in the last 5 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
So
what does that guy they do with them all?
He's dumping them in a ditch.
I love getting you to say that.
Yeah.
There is nothing. I mean, you got to be
No.
a madman to skin out 1,000 coyotes. It'd be worth like $500.
Yeah. No.
Fuck.
The guy we know that hunts him pretty seriously, he tries to kill his age in yotes every year. He's
Charnigo?
70. Yeah.
Charnigo?
He
Yeah.
killed 70 last year.
I mean, there are guys that just would blow me out of the water with coyote hunting.
I wouldn't even take him out of the. If I shoot a coyote while deer hunting or something, I'm not even gonna move it.
Yeah, a lot of
leave it right there.
a lot of those landowners want them gone, and nothing eats them, dude. It'll stay like that until April. You know what I mean?
The other coyotes aren't eating them. I'm
No.
sure like the possums and stuff are like.
They smell so bad.
Yeah, make a pit somewhere and toss them all in there.
Yeah.
So if anyone has coyotes they want killed, get a hold of Tyler. I'm sure he'll take some new properties. I know there's a lot more people on social media that have been asking, but all right, let's get to the main meat and potatoes here. We're not going to talk about the deer you killed yet. I want to talk about the deer you didn't kill. I want to talk about that potential world record. I know that's a stretch.
Yeah.
That you were hunting this year. You talked about it a little bit in the podcast earlier when we were kind of mumbling, but you hunted a deer this year that would probably. I guess we could all have our different guesses, but I would say that deer's typical gross and or net, because he did not have deductions, would be high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah.
The only thing hurting him is maybe his spread and maybe a little bit mass, but
Yeah.
this deer was a perfect 6x6, typical, just beautiful, world class.
What is the record typical for Ohio?
204, I believe, or 206. Brad German, I think his name is 206 or 204 net.
And there's probably only been a handful
That's
of
a
200.
giant.
That's a freak.
Giant.
I'm sure there's only been a handful of 200.
I think there's been like
net
200-inch typicals, maybe only like 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I think there's
In the state of Ohio.
I think there's been 20 plus over 190, and this is on the Buckeye Big Buck Club website. It's Brad German, I think 204,
201
201
and 1/8, tied with William Contras.
Okay,
So we
201. I was.
we
wrong.
looked at the videos and pictures a lot. This deer wouldn't have touched that this year, but who knows next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was 5 this year. I had 3 years of history with him. I had this 70-acre property. It was the first property I got when I got out of the Marine Corps. And
I think you've told us about that.
yeah,
property.
she let me plant, like I had food plots there, and I got pictures of him the first time in 22, and he was just like a tight rack 10-pointer. Like, I didn't even save pictures of him. I had him on like a Browning regular SD card. And the next year he showed up, so 23, and he was like a super tight 11-point and still wasn't like, I wouldn't even consider shooting him. And then last year, so to 25, he showed up and he was like probably high 50s, low 60s, mainframe 11 again.
Yeah.
And we tried to get my daughter on him. And that property, I had him so consistent there, but my buddy ended up buying that property. And I kind of, in a roundabout way, got the boot. She offered to sell it to me, and I didn't do it. And I kind of got the boot off the property. And I picked up the property next door. Well, I forgot that I had left a trail camera in my food plot.
Okay.
So when I sent you guys that first video, that camera died, but I had a solar panel on it. So I don't know why. I would get like pictures of grass all the time when the summer rolled around.
The temp comes up and the battery get enough juice to send
And
it.
the one night, it was like, I don't know why.
Was it cell cam?
Yeah, it was a Tacticam, but it was like the XB with like the built-in solar panel. And it wasn't a windy night, and I got a picture, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. I open it up, and it was that buck. And
Really?
And
It's like a ghost.
oh, dude, and that video, I requested the video, and he just walks and faces the camera and walks up to it, and I was going to throw up. I was like, oh my God.
So you had a dead trail camera that got some heat from the sun.
Yes.
Relived itself. The toggle switch was still on. You were still paying for it.
Yes.
And it sent that video.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But in the meantime, I had like 500 pictures of grass. But that was the first deer I'd got in my food plot. It was a perennial, and it had just
a mess now.
It was a mess. Yeah. So I sent you guys that video, and we were all like, "Holy shit! Like this is huge." And then
that was the first time you saw him this year.
This year,
wow,
that was the first time.
Okay,
dude, I sent you guys that video within 90 seconds of me getting
total Freeman move.
Oh, dude, I'm like,
I'm too excited.
You must trust us.
Yeah, I mean,
no, what are you gonna do? Send it to somebody else? I don't care.
I mean, I'd never sent that picture. Like the pictures that you would put in the chat, I never sent a single one to anybody. I got one picture from someone else of that deer.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way. And I knew exactly what deer it was.
The advantage you have is we have no idea where you're hunting.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I'll tell people where, I mean.
Whoa, no.
I'll tell them where you hunt. You
people know where we are.
But yeah, I ended up getting permission on the property next door where I coyote hunt.
Yeah.
It's literally just a 20-acre hayfield. I had the 70 acres of woods that attached to it, but the landowner died and his daughter's like PETA, animal lover. I called her, asked if I could hunt there with my daughter. She said, how about you start playing softball with your daughter instead of taking her hunting?
You're like, I already do all that shit. This is something else.
And I could have trespassed in there
75%
so easy. And I kept my ass right on the tree line, and I didn't go in.
Well, the deer like this, you have to. Right?
Oh,
like
well, that was my
you would
thing.
end up killing this deer, like someone would claim something in the investigation. There always is when a deer that big. I mean, look at your last one you killed.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I ended up knocking on I knocked on every huntable property a mile north and a mile south for this deer. I picked up a property like a half mile east for this deer. I mean, all my options were ran out. The ladies that own the property to the north, it's 350 acres. They don't let anybody hunt. I have asked them years now. I've dropped them mums, and I'm like, bring them flowers.
Is she an old German woman?
No, it's two sisters. But and then I ended up getting a property that I laid eyes on him when I was in my stand, and I had 3 encounters with him. The night my buddy shot him.
Yeah,
he shot him in the ass.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that part. So to back it up a little bit. You got the picture of this incredible deer. You went out and got all these properties. Once you started getting this deer on camera a lot, like you were giving us like nightly updates, like in July and August. I remember, like this deer was very consistent and in daylight.
Every 7 days a week for an hour of daylight in the morning and an hour of daylight in the evening, he was in there 7 days a week until the beginning of September.
That's wild to me. Like,
and then it was just slowly. He kind of petered off.
And we see that a lot actually here and in like in Kentucky and stuff.
My buck
like,
this year.
There's all these deer that like their summer pattern. Once like the velvet starts to get hard and peel, they like for whatever reason they do their shift. You know.
Well, I also think we had a horrible drought.
Yeah,
the beans got brown super fast.
Yeah.
We had a mass crop of acorns this year.
Yeah.
So I'm in this hayfield and I have 70 acres behind me full of acorns. Dude, it sounded like it was raining when I was in my stand.
So he was 100% feeding in there.
Yeah, and I couldn't get in there. I couldn't go after him. And then I picked up the property next door, and I was getting him on camera there, but I just couldn't link up with him.
How many times did you have, before Brian shot him, how many times did you have him on trail camera, or maybe that you knew about that you could have killed him on one of your properties?
None.
So you're in a similar situation to Ethan and the buck he was hunting. Like, we had him in the summertime, all summer long in the beans, just velvet, huge. Every night you could go out see him in the field. But like, once that season rolled around, like the huntable opportunities for that deer on camera were like zero.
Actually, there was 2 times, and one of them was at like noon.
Yeah, you got
in like the middle of October, and I would have never sat for him at noon in the middle of October.
Did you check to see if there was a wind shift?
No, I honestly think that. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't chasing a doe, or he could have been.
Where was the picture? Like, was it woods, field?
It was in the hayfield.
So, like, I have a spot where I will get, like, not to be off subject, but I have a spot, and it's a hub. We call it a thermal hub, I guess. Technically, it's where 3 ridges come together. So and then there's a valley where 2 creeks come together and form a third. There's this valley. I'll get, for whatever reason, like between like 11 a.m. and noon, 2 o'clock in the late summer and in early fall, I'll get mature bucks like changing the ridge they bet on for whatever. They'll just walk down through this valley at noon,
and
just go bet on the other ridge.
And whether it's thermal,
and I don't know if it's because
wind.
the wind is shifting, or like, the thermals start to rise or drop, and maybe they're like, okay, I'm going to feed on that field tonight. So like, whatever it is, like at noontime, I will randomly get deer in that spot. But the way you described it, someone might have been walking.
This was an anomaly. It had never happened before that and didn't happen after that.
So he got bumped.
Yeah. And I saw him in shooting light 3 separate times throughout the season.
That's a good shot right there.
Break the couch.
Peak male performance right there.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I sat, I want to say like 54 or 55 times for him, and all out of a saddle.
It's very similar to yours. Like, you guys' stories are like just perfect.
How many times did you see him?
3.
Yeah, I saw him once.
You guys got
1 time.
Did you see him during the rut, or is it pre?
Once during pre-rut, and then twice during the rut. The last time I saw him was when he got shot by the neighbor.
You saw him the day he got shot?
Dude, listen to this.
I'm listening.
I picked up this property, the new property, that day, and it was just like, I could set up like 200 yards south. There was a little 2-acre thicket, and that's where I had seen him those other 2 times. So I go in there with my saddle, I bring the decoy out, I cut all my lanes, I get in the tree, and I'm sitting there, and it's like 10 minutes left of legal shooting light, and I look up, and he's 80 yards away from me, coming out of that thicket. And I'm getting a phone call from the neighbor. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm ignoring it, and he stands there at 80 yards, doesn't move, and then I was at the end of legal shooting light. So he calls me again, and I answer, and he's like, I shot Skyscraper tonight. And I'm still watching him, and I'm like, oh, he's going to drop. Like, I'm like, maybe he's, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when did you shoot him? And he goes, an hour and a half ago. Have you seen him? And I'm like, dude, he's standing in front of me. And he goes, well, I was going to call you to bring your drone because I wasn't sure how the shot was. He had no blood. There was just hair. He ended up getting a picture of him that night, and it almost looks like it skimmed his ass.
You think he turned?
He said he originally said he jumped the string, but I'm like, dude, your crossbow shoots like 500 feet per second. And he said he kind of turned at the last minute.
Yeah.
And we got pictures of both sides of him, and he didn't have anything on the other side. And then after that shot, he just turned into a ghost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got one more picture of him, and he looked pretty run down. Like, he looked emaciated.
So you think I guess let's break this down. The entry and the exit of the arrow.
There was no exit.
So the bolt was in him?
No. It literally skipped across his ham.
Okay. On like a north-south horizontal.
Yes.
Like, okay.
He had no blood on the arrow, no fat on the arrow. There was white hair clumped up in the broadhead, but nothing else on the arrow.
Do you think that wound was enough to emaciate that deer, or do you think there was other factors? Like he rutted himself down, he got wounded, and then maybe other bucks started getting into it.
Yeah, and that last picture I had of him was like December 1st or 5th, something like that. So it was like at the end of the rut. He probably
looked like
gun
shit.
season.
Oh yeah, he just looked like a rutted down buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's gun season too. Like,
but with this shitty winter we've had, his chances of survival are probably not.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? Like he could be out there somewhere.
The good news is he didn't get a bad, severe leg injury. It sounds like, which is good for his the symmetry of his rack.
Yeah.
If this deer was still alive, and you said that December time frame was the last time you got a picture, do you know of anyone else who's seen him since? Or
Nobody that I know that was hunting him had seen him. And the thing is, every year before this, he was always on the property this time of the year.
Yeah.
Like, he never moved out. You know what I mean? He stayed there. So that's the only thing that kind of worries me about it.
I'm going to ask a question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Yeah.
After all that went down, did you fly your drone to find him at all?
Not a single time.
Why not? I mean, you have one. Not that I'm saying that that's right, but especially after dark.
Honestly, because I knew as soon as I started doing the recoveries, I would have people oh, you shot your buck because you have a drone.
And we've been guilty we've been guilty of accusing a lot of people of that.
And I'm like, I bought that drone this April. I've shot 3 160s, a 170, and a 150. Those were my last 5 deer.
Right.
And I didn't own a drone.
Right.
And I'm like, if I fly this drone and I find this deer and I kill him, I will not feel right about doing it.
I like that.
So when he stopped showing up, I stopped running a camera over there. Really? I committed to this deer, and I was like, I'm not going to look for him with the drone. If somebody else kills him, they kill him. But I felt like I had a chance to kill that one, so I didn't fly.
Do you think the deer's alive?
Yeah.
That's good.
So when did you stop running a camera over there?
The camera's still out there, but it's been dead since I got permission to hunt the property for this deer December 1st. So probably right around the beginning of December is when that camera died.
It's not that you haven't had a picture of him; you haven't had the opportunity to get a picture of him.
Yeah,
that's a big difference. In
would the other guys in the
alive
area tell you they had him?
Yeah,
they would. I mean, I hope this deer's alive, and next year he's 210 inches and a
typical
world record. But to say that he's going to get any bigger than he was would be a hard ask, I guess.
I mean, I know 5 to 6. Some guys say that's a lot of times they're
get some junk on him.
Well, you never know when these deer make their big jumps.
Yeah,
sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes they.
That could have been his big jump, and now he's back down to a 160, which I'd still
bummer.
I'd still shoot him.
No one has any sheds.
No.
That's a tell to me too. That means that that time of year he might.
Nobody that I know has them. I mean, that deer could be dead in some farmer's barn right now, skull capped
on and nailed. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to I got a buddy that lives right down the road from there, and he's like, he took his deer to the taxidermist, and he goes, there was 2 mid 180s at the taxidermist that were both killed within 5 miles of my house.
Yeah.
Nobody had pictures of them. Right. The guys don't post it on social media. They don't care. They shoot them. They take them to the taxidermist, and it's they don't.
They probably got a shop full of deer.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a chance. Let's talk about the deer you did kill. And let me tell you, for anyone watching, this is the heaviest deer rack I've held in a long time. Not mass wise. I mean, he has mass, but I'm talking about actual weight of the antlers.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Carries that mass out. So that deer, I remember you showing it to us initially, and you're like, because this was your second. And we're like, holy shit, that's a big deer. But then looking at this and then looking at the pictures, he's way bigger in person than he looked in the pictures.
Yeah.
How big was his body?
He was an average.
Okay.
I didn't weigh him, but it wasn't anything impressive.
Is this the same deer your daughter had the issues on the year before?
No.
It's different? Because it looks similar, doesn't it?
It does kind of look... That hers was a little bit bigger. But no, if any other year, if I wouldn't have had Skyscraper on camera, I wouldn't have even hesitated. I would have gone after that buck immediately. But that deer was a crazy story because Ben Freeman.
Yep.
So it had to have been August, and Ben calls me, and he's like, hey, do you have permission to hunt over here? And he sends me a pin, and I had permission on the 30 acres across the street. And I'm like, why? And he goes, well, there's a giant in the bean field right there. And I told him, go get permission to hunt it. And he's, I don't want to step on your toes. You hunt a lot in this area. And I basically begged him, dude, go get permission. He said no. So I ended up getting permission on the neighboring property. And I got a camera out there, ended up getting him on camera. And I did and where this is at, you have to register with the city to hunt. They started it like 3 or 4 years ago, I think, making you register. And the landowner texted me like October 1st, and she goes, I still haven't gotten the paperwork back to register, so you can't hunt yet. Well, it texted me like 2 weeks later, and she goes, hey, I finally got it back, but I let somebody else hunt too, and he's already killed 2 deer. And I'm like, what the hell? So I go out there the one day, and he's trespassing on the property, the field that he was in. He's got 500 pounds of apples and a tree stand there, and I know he's not allowed there because they don't let anybody hunt. So he moves back in the property.
75% of hunters.
Oh, dude. And he goes,
they're all dirtbags.
He goes, it was just kind of confusing with the way the property lines were. And I'm like, dude, you know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
So I ended up hunted for skyscraper every single day up until October 29th. October 30th, I think it was. I went in and I was like, I need to see him in person. If he's a nice deer, I'll shoot him. He came in that night an hour and a half before sunset. Came in like slightly quartering away, so I saw him from behind, and I'm like, dude, he's huge. I went to grab my bow, and I'm in between these 2 bedding areas, and all these deer are funneling right in between these 2 bedding areas. There's maybe like 10 trees around that you can get in. They funnel right between these bedding areas, and they go right into this bean field. And I go to grab my bow, and I didn't realize there's 3 does behind me. They blew, and all of them took off, and he never came back to the property. The next day, never. The next day, I had him on camera in the morning, 1.5 miles down the road. And this is where this gets crazy. So that was October 30th. Had him 1.5 miles down the road at another property I have, and then not another picture. So I was driving around, and there was a piece of property that I had tried to get permission on like 3 years in a row, but could never figure out who owned it. And for people who knock on doors, like this is the extent I went through to get permission here. I go on the auditor site. Oh, I think something just got disconnected.
Nah, it probably just jiggled it.
Oh, yeah.
Our board's getting wallered out because we've done 129 podcasts with it.
I go on Onyx. This property's listed under an LLC. I Google the tax address or pull it up on Onyx. It's like a 55 and older community in Florida. No individual owners.
Yeah.
I put his tax address on White Pages. I get like 3 names of people who could live there. There's like 20 phone numbers, call them all, no answer. But it gives me what his occupation is, and he was an attorney. So I look him up online to figure out where he works. Can't find any law firms he works at. So then I find court cases he tried. And I read through
Anything good?
No, it was all like civil stuff. I read through these court cases, finally find the law firm, Google the law firm, find his name in the directory, call him, second ring he answers.
Dang.
And this property's for sale. Now, by this point, I've called like 30 phone numbers. And I'm like, hey, I was calling about the land you have for sale at so-and-so place. And he's like, I'm in Italy right now. I don't handle that stuff. My brother does. I'll tell him to call you. 2 days go by,
Yeah.
no calls.
Right.
Well, he told me his brother's name. So I put his brother's name in White Pages. And his brother has relatives in the city where I'm a fireman.
Well, that's perfect.
So I text the guy and I say, hey, I'm going to be on shift tomorrow. I work for whatever fire department, like maybe some common ground. I go, your brother can call me whenever. An hour later, I get a call. And he goes, hey, my brother said you want to talk about the land. He said you're a fireman and so. He goes, I was a city councilman there for 30 years. I just retired. I'm like, I am in. So we
Thanks
talk
for the raises.
Yeah, we talk for like an hour, and he eventually says they can't take on the liability. This is December 1st. I'm talking to him.
This is the end of Skyscraper's tenure.
The end of Skyscraper. Yeah. So he goes, no, this is November 1st.
Okay.
He goes, I'll bring this up to my attorney after the holidays. So Thanksgiving, a month away. I call him like 2 days after Thanksgiving. I said, look, I'll get a $2 million liability policy to hunt the property. It's like $250 a year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, send me a copy of it. I sent it to him. It's like 70 pages. He goes, it'll cost me $1,000 to have my attorney read this. And he emails me back and everything's signed. And he goes, just post the property, no trespassing. And I'm like, okay. I was driving to glass the field when he's emailed me this. I pull up into the field, pull my binoculars up, and he is standing in the field 3.5 miles away from what. And I'm like, dude, I can't even tell people this because they're going to be like, there's no way. He went through 2 separate metro parks and ended up on this 50-acre property 3 miles away as the crow flies.
It's crazy.
I was like, what are I'm like, there's no way that's him.
I really wish we had a way we could track some of these mature bucks in
Oh.
Northeast Ohio, because I want to know so bad how they do it.
Yeah.
Like how, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I love it. I love it.
And then I sat like another 20 times before I ended up actually killing him.
Yeah, you sent us videos the one day.
Yeah.
I think of him, right?
Yeah.
Like your phone. You were taking phone videos. And
Yeah. Probably in the field. I had my binos.
No, it was in the woods. There was videos of this deer you had in the woods, I remember.
Oh,
like
yeah.
snow on the ground or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, what were the chances that? And then that guy that I told you was trespassing, he's the one that shot him in the brisket. He works at Cabela's, and I saw him up at Cabela's.
Is he our buddy?
No, I don't think so.
The one that ran the outfitting business that you
Oh,
worked
no,
for?
no.
Because he also used to work on
And I had that skull cap in my truck, and I was like, hey, do you ever see a buck with like a goofy brow tines real big? He's like, yeah, I shot that in the brisket. I was like, I'll be right back. And I was like,
What a flex.
I walk in with it, and I set it on the counter. I was like, this one? And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, maybe you should have been on the right property trying to hunt him. And he was like, oh, congratulations, you know?
This was at Cabela's?
Yeah, at Cabela's.
You went into his place
He's
of work?
sitting there in his stupid little uniform, and I brought it in for him to see.
You're being mean.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome.
I would do the same. Dude, I would do it if
We
I
don't
could.
got no time for poachers. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about no poachers. I mean, that's why I wanted to get you on today, man. It's a hell of a story.
It's a hell of a deer.
It's a hell of a deer. It's a hell of a story. And, like, I'm invested in Skyscraper. We were all kind of invested in Skyscraper this summer when you were sending pictures.
Well, we wanted you to kill him so we could just score him and see him. Like,
Hold him.
Yeah.
you don't get to
If
see
you
a
wanna
big typical
see-
like that.
If Tyler will let me, if you want to see what this deer looks like, I might put a teaser type pic in the thumbnail. But that's all I'm going to do. We're not going to post anything else on that deer.
I'll send you that first picture of him walking up in velvet.
I'll put whatever you
yeah.
want in the thumbnail.
I don't care, dude. If
some
somebody can find where that deer's at, it's not my deer. You know what I mean?
with all the work that you just did for this deer, I'm sure you'd be able to find out where that deer is. We'll get Freeman on the case.
I mean, like,
Do not do that.
I exhausted my options over there, and I was relegated to those two properties. And if he shows up next year and I get a chance at him, it'd be great. But
Yeah, you
I
never
mean,
know.
This property that he's on, there's a couple really nice deer in there. That one's got a nice flyer on him. If he grows half decent next year, I think he'll be like a high 50s deer. If he keeps that flyer, it'd be sweet. I'll find another deer.
Yeah,
I'll cry if he gets killed by somebody, but
that's the way it works. Are you planning on doing any out of state stuff this year? Kentucky, anything like that?
yeah, we'll do Kentucky again.
You guys didn't kill any bucks last year down there?
I did.
You did kill a buck?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It wasn't great deer.
Is that why? Did you not show us?
No, he showed us.
I showed you guys.
I guess I remember Ben killed that
He's
doe,
just, yeah.
which
yeah.
kind of was there a reason that was kept quiet?
Yeah.
It was like kind of kept quiet. I'm like, I'd be bragging about that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know why he really kept it quiet. I mean, he didn't say not to send pictures to
Was
anybody.
it a pieball or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you allowed
like
to
a
shoot a
cool.
big duck?
Yeah, you're allowed to shoot him.
It was a cool pieball too. Like,
Yeah.
you'd seen it 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
passed it the one year.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna I heard it's bad luck.
Well,
Some people
I mean,
say
Ben
that.
killed a big buck after shooting it, so not really, I guess.
He killed a big buck before shooting it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
Yeah.
let us know next year how Ben does. I mean, we'll know.
Yeah.
We'll see it on social media. So
We got one around here now.
we have
being
we have
seen.
a couple around here for sure. That's another thing that, speaking of radio collared deer and stuff like that, you know, has it been 3 years now since I had that encounter with that piebald buck?
Yeah,
in
yeah.
November, and then we never
in the back.
Yeah, we never saw him again. Like I had this like piebald 6-point come in a couple different times, and I filmed it from the tree. And I actually thought about sending an arrow for a moment. I was like, I mean, it was a year and a half old, but I'm like, man, like how cool would a full body piebald mount be? You know, you don't get a very many opportunities.
$2,000.
Right. I didn't, thinking like, oh, we'll be able to at least watch this deer throughout the years, right? And then for whatever reason, yeah, hold on, we're getting a little hot in here. We got a little hoodie room.
Talking about his deer getting all hot and bothered.
For whatever reason, that piebald buck, after being around during the rut for 2 weeks, never saw him again. Like,
Yeah, that was
years
weird.
have gone by and I've never seen him again. So either someone shot him or
Probably got killed by the outfitter.
he was coming through. Yeah, but they would have posted that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh, that doe that's around.
she's
around
moved
our
about
area.
a half a mile
Yeah, and I
to
think
a mile.
people are the people where she lives are choosing not to shoot her. I believe.
Correct. We got some trail camera
If she
videos
walked past
over.
us, I'd probably shoot her
Yeah, it's not good for the herd,
at
right?
this point.
Well, if they
pieball-
survive to adults, it's not that like. If they survive to be adults, they're fine. But like the problem is most pieballs are so like deformed leg wise that they die as fawns. Like,
Oh, I didn't even know that.
yeah, so they just have
Recessive traits.
It's recessive, so like their legs are shorter, their snouts are shorter. Sometimes like they don't put on weight.
It depends
a lot
on
of
what
them die.
physical characteristic they get.
Yeah, a lot of them just
You never
die
know what
super
physical-
young because they're just an adult fawn. But the ones that do make it to adulthood seem to do okay. So
And the full albinos are supposed to be even worse.
yeah. The more albinism that they have, the worse their body can.
Wisconsin, you can't shoot them, correct?
Yeah, because
correct.
that's one
Wisconsin's
famous
illegal.
deer.
Because of the they're like tribal. I think it's the tribal laws out there kind of make it so like they just whatever reason, and I think New York is the same way. You cannot kill albino deer.
So you see videos online of all these huge albino deer in Wisconsin. Like, I would shoot the shit out of that. It's like you can't.
and well, a lot of them have like messed up racks. Like,
Yeah,
they're fully mature, but their racks are like all.
So is it just a numbers game why you see so many albino and piebald whitetails, but you don't really see the mule deer, the elk?
I don't know
you'll
if
see
elk,
videos
can
of
elk
moose
and mule
and
deer
stuff.
even be albino.
I don't know.
Like
I've
I
never
know,
seen one.
I know a mountain lion can't.
But like you see an albino moose, like there's one famous one in the park somewhere.
Yeah, they call them like they have those things that have a name, right? Like
Yeah.
spirit moose or something.
But I've never seen an albino elk.
No, I've never. I think I don't know. I guess I've never noticed.
You're getting Jamie on it.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan over here.
I have one last question before we can either shoot the shit or call it a day because we've been at it for over an hour and it's been a pretty good podcast. Whatever happened with the 4-antler buck? Like I was kind of curious that because that was this
two
year
rack-
would have
two
been the
rack
year
buck.
after. Yeah, he had both his antlers had double beams on both
Yeah.
sides. And you obviously had a picture of him or knew where he lived or whatever the story is with
I don't know. I didn't even run a trail camera over there this year. You don't know, I did earlier in the season. And the guy that lived on the property next door, there was like a mix up where he thought he was allowed to hunt it. And he lived right there. And I was after these deer. And I was like, dude, you hunt it this year or whatever. I'm not going to step in. And I don't think he shot it. And I think you sent me last year. Somebody found the shed. It was on some page.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody had posted the sheds, and I was like, "Whoa!" I noticed recognized those from that one grainy ass picture. But then I didn't hear anything this year, like summer, fall during hunting season,
No.
of a 4-antler buck in that area. So like he might have just grew a normal rack.
And of
Yeah.
any deer, that looks like a Photoshop or an AI. Like it's literally just two racks.
It looks like two moose paddles. Like
Yeah.
he had palmate. It's just a crazy looking deer. But even though he wasn't big per se, if you put those two racks together, that deer would have scored some. It would have scored well.
Yeah.
You'd have to choose whatever the regular 100-inch frame was, and then everything else would have been an
Yeah.
additional. You know.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. And it was weird because I had like a 2-week period where he was like pretty regular and didn't have him before that, didn't have him after that. And it wasn't even correlated with like it being the rut. It was I don't know what happened. I don't know why he was in there. But that spot's like 45 minutes from my house. And I get kind of, I feel like we get spoiled. We get to hunt pretty close where we live. I think having to drive a half hour is normal for most people to have to hunt.
And they're only going out for the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Not sitting 70 times.
No, but
Yeah, you'd have a hard time doing that if you're driving an hour each way.
I mean, I've said it on podcasts many times. I wouldn't even like hunting as much as I do if it wasn't because of the way we were born and had access to it so close.
Yeah.
If it was like golf where you had to like make a thing every time you go do it, I wouldn't do it. Just like I don't golf. You know, like
No.
You have to make a day of it every time you want to go.
Well, and our schedules. Like I could not have another job.
no, because you'd only be able to hunt Friday or Saturday and Sunday.
Hunting's our other
Like
job.
early season, you'd be able to get out after work. Maybe like that's the trap Nick falls in. Nick can only hunt weekends, or if he takes a vacation day or a half day. Like, because after the time change, which is right at the beginning of November, there's no hunting after work.
Well, there's that, and then if you're working a 9 to 5, do you have the energy to get out and deal? I'm going to spend my whole weekend hunting now. Then I got to go back to work 5 days a week. Like, what other job can you
don't
hunt?
see your kids.
Yeah. What
Or
other?
if you shoot one and you're out 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
you got to go to work.
Yeah. I don't know another job that you can hunt 75 times a year
Not unless you're using all your vacation, taking time off, unpaid. A lot of people do that shit just to get through the rut.
Everyone who does, like, honestly, anyone who does the social media hunting thing or tries to make money in the hunting industry, they should just be firemen because you could do both.
And you have a
Literally
steady salary.
Right. You have your income, and then you can just pursue your pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if it was easy, everyone would do it, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Oh, I think I'm good.
We hit our hour mark. That was a good conversation.
What are we at?
110.
Well,
I'm excited for Skyscraper next year.
Yeah.
We talked, me and Tyler, and we talked in the group chat, like, the whole plan the whole year was for him to kill this buck, bring it over, score it, be like, look at this world record deer. And obviously, that's a lot easier to talk about than actually do. But it worked out, and I do hope that deer's alive. And
we can see him in the summer.
Yeah.
My luck, he'll end up dropping 20 inches.
Darn.
Kill
Kill
165.
Yeah.
Shucks.
I know I still have that first video when he showed up. I'll have to send that to you.
Yeah, I'll make something cool for the thumbnail for sure. To do.
Well, maybe somebody listening to this podcast will know what happened to him or killed him more.
He's in my barn right now.
Yeah.
It is.
We've
waiting
had that shit happen before.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day where, like, something we talk about gets...
Or it comes back and bites us in the ass.
Well, we talked, this year going into this season, it's like the split ear thing. I was after split ear. That was a deer I wanted to kill no matter what. Found the shed. And then he was just gone. And, like, maybe a glimpse here, maybe a glimpse there on camera, but nothing consistent. And he got killed a mile away.
On a small property.
He had just moved,
The picture looks like something you would see like in a magazine or like a trail camera picture that's been going around for years.
You were after a really big one this year, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the correlation between those two. Like, you guys were both just hunting mega
How big?
giants.
I'll show you in a second.
Like, if you had to put a number on it.
He's a 180.
180. Yeah.
Not
really?
Non-typical. Though.
The way his ear is a dead giveaway for one. Like, there's, like, you'll be able to tell
Split.
whatever deer.
I've shot 3 bucks with split ears like that.
We have a lot of them around here.
Yeah.
It happens very often. It's from fighting, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, especially the bigger ones, they're catching.
180, huh?
Saw him one time. Maybe I won't show you.
I don't think.
Maybe one. He'd probably be 180, I would think.
175,
What this one
180.
score?
Show him the velvet.
153.
150. See that?
I'll show him
I feel like that deer scores more than 150.
I was very conservative because I knew you'd eventually get your hands on it.
If this deer did truly score, I mean, I fully believe that this deer is probably. I would think this deer would be a 160. And if this deer is a 160,
very similar to Jay's 8-pointer he shot with the little extra junk. So, and I guess Jay's was 154. So yeah, I guess.
But I shot that 8, whatever that.
This thing is bigger than 153.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to find that out.
Yeah.
That one, I shot that 8 that scored 160 a few years ago, and his main beams are just so much longer.
This deer's mass is so much better.
Yeah, but the mass only takes you so far.
If this deer is 155-ish, 160-ish, Moby's like 90s.
Yeah.
That's your buck?
Yeah.
It's got to be 90s.
Moby,
we'll show you a velvet picture.
Is he a typical?
No, he's not.
Not typical.
He's very similar.
Send it to me.
No, that deer has never been sent out.
It has never been sent out.
He's very similar to this deer, but I think he's got like 17 points of junk, or 16, or whatever he's got.
He's heavy.
We're giving away too much already.
Drop a pin.
We're gonna show Tyler some pictures.
So I did a thing on my Onyx.
Deer, so
you don't want to hunt where this deer.
Yeah, you'd have a miserable time.
No deer. There.
I did this thing on Onyx where I folded everything, so I have 0 pins besides the ones I have unfolded, and I can hide them.
Anyways, we're gonna end this podcast, but we talk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer Shot Podcast episode 129.
We're out.